Hi, welcome. We're the Weasley sisters. I'm Jessica, also known as Naturally Nitty. And
And
this is episode 232.
and I'm Allena, also known as Starnets. Today is October 18th. This is our bi-monthly podcast. If you are a first-time watcher slash listener, welcome. If you are a returning watcher slash listener, you're coming back.
Yeah. So pull up a chair, grab your knitting, and craft along with us.
Yes. So do you have any mojo?
I have a ton of mojo. I don't know. I think it's the cooler fall weather or something, but I have been bitten hard by the knitting bug, which I was like spinning all summer, and crocheting, I guess. Crocheting bug. I have a couple things that I finished that I had promised for our neighborhood girls. They're around Chloe and Leah's ages, and they hang out here all the time. And I guess they were at some sort of craft fair this summer and bought, uh, I think one was a bigger octopus, and one was something else. But they were there and they're like, I bet Miss Jessica can make that. So they came over and they brought things. They're like, could you make me this but smaller? It was like a big octopus, with the dangly things. So she wanted a baby one to like go with it. One of them. So that's what I made. And let me tell you, like, amigurumi is not my favorite thing to make because they're tiny, tiny stitches and they're stiff and they're annoying to piece together. That's that's my thoughts. Like they're super cute and awesome, but they're annoying to me. So then I made this whale
Oh,
um, for Ellie, and like here's it. It's kind of hard to show dark color. Anyways, and then the youngest girl, she wanted an owl, and she wanted a big like stuffed animal owl. So it's like a big like foot or so high.
so
Um,
I was wondering why she got such a big one and the other one's got small ones.
They asked for it. The one Ellie wanted the whale. She's like, I want it keychain size. So I was like, okay, which it's a little bigger. It like fits in the size of my hand. Um, and Gabby wanted the owl, and she wanted like a big stuffy, like so she could like sleep with it. And then the octopus, she wanted the small one to match with the one she had bought. Anyways,
That
so
makes
I
sense.
promised them these things like back in summer, and then I had started knitting Chloe's sweater for the newt, and like Chloe kept being like, "When are you going to make those for them?" Because they asked a long time ago. I'm like, "I'll get to it when I get to it." So I finally just made them, and I'm showing you pictures because they have them and they like them. So
That's cool.
that is cool. Um, then so then like you could tell I had the knitting bug because I was like, "Hey, Chloe, do you have a hat? Do you need a hat this year? Because it's going to be getting cold out soon. Like, how's your hat situation?" She's like, "I'm fine." That's like, "All right." Truben, how's your hat situation? Do you need one? He's like, "No, I have my green one from last year." I'm like, "Really? Because you always like need a new green hat." He's like, "No, I have it. It's good." I said, "Okay." I'm like, "Leah, do you need a hat?" And she's like, "No, I have that one that you made." I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Gabe, do you know where your hat is?" I don't know. Like he's all teenagery and annoying. Anyways, so I was like, fine, I'm gonna make myself a hat. So I found this pattern. I forget what it was. I didn't write it down. I have it linked on my Ravelry project page. But basically, it's kind of like a bonnet. So I should have took gauge because it doesn't really fit me all that well, but it fits the girls. But I used hand spun, um, and I love how it turned out. It's super cute, but it goes on kind of like a bonnet. I'm gonna totally wreck my hair doing this.
You look like you should be in the mountains
I
with
know. It should be a little bigger though. Like I should have maybe gone up a needle size or two, and I could have been fine. I actually, um, I had the ball. It was hand spun. This is like the rest of the ball, so I didn't even like. Still a lot. I took from both ends and just knit with it, and I love the way it turned out, and like the colors paired up like I didn't even plan it. It's kind of weird. But this was yarn that I'd spun from Rolags. I was just doing, I had grabbed a bunch of different sample Rolags and I spun them randomly on a spindle and then plied them together. Like I never planned it, but I really like how it turned out. Fun stuff.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so the girls both like it, and I think Chloe's worn it to school a couple times. Because it's been cold here in Wisconsin. Oh, and then also because it's been cold, Truby was riding his bike to school, but then there's a couple days that he didn't want to, and it's really nice when he rides his bike because then that's one less person that I have to drop off at a separate school or pick up at a separate school. Anyways, but he didn't like riding because his ears got cold, and putting his hat on under the helmet made the helmet sit weird. So I found this cool pattern for, I think it was bike helmet earmuffs. But basically, I don't know if you can see this. It's like a strip of ribbing, but then you make these little pockets and you put it onto the helmet so that it covers their ears.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he likes it a lot because he says, I don't know what's in the helmet, but he said it always like tugged at his hair or whatever, so he really likes it, and it like goes in there like this.
That's super
Yeah.
cool.
But then it got even colder. Like it's been like 30 or 40s, and he stopped riding. So, you know, sucks for me, but that's okay. It's still a cool little thing, and I'm glad I made it. Also, I joined our blanket squares that we made for Jared and Sheehan.
Wait, I don't have to hold up the picture then.
Huh?
You need to hold up the 3 squares that I finished for this month.
Okay. So this is the first time I did joining. So I felt very cool learning a new technique. Because usually you're like the crochet master person. But yeah, I really liked this the back or the front. How I did it.
Yeah.
And it took me like I messed up a bunch of times and had to like rip out because I didn't follow directions exactly. But yeah, so
Okay, so stop on that log cabin square.
oh, this one I like that one a lot. I like all yours.
That is one that I made this month. And then if you go over to the mitered square one that has an outline of it, yeah, down there. That one. Those 2 I finished and turned in together.
So this one, so they can see it. I figure like they don't see it. This one.
Yeah, and then the really hard one I turned in, it was the mandala one. And
This
that
one.
one I had to rip back like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, I'm not a new crocheter. This should not be this hard. But that one was like the hardest thing I've ever did.
These are crazy awesome. All your squares are amazing. And like Chloe's like, well, why didn't you do different squares? I'm like, because I suck and I just wanted to do some. I'm like, Alena's are awesome. I'm like, but it goes well together. But yeah, I really like your squares. I don't know if they saw the log cabin one. I'll hold this up and talk for a minute. See, this is the first one you talked about.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, but yeah.
No, I
like the swirl one too.
Oh yeah. I wanted to like use up a lot of my yarn, but I wanted to have like more colors because I just had solid colors, and that's why I did that. So I just like looked for different patterns because I know it's fun to have like different squares.
No, I think it turned out good. And I ended up using all the ones that I made and did a 4x4 blanket.
Yeah, that works.
Because I figured why not. But I really enjoyed doing this, and we're going to have to plan a day to go down there and give it to them. And it's super warm and cozy. When I was joining it, it was like a blanket on me, so it was nice. So yeah, that was another thing. But I think I'm going to start making 8-inch for you for Slytherin Sunshine Committee. I think I'm going to start making those like when I'm bored or need to do something because
and it's good to try like unique too. Like different, like that's another reason why I do different squares, because you can try different things. Like that mandala one was so freaking hard.
This one's cool too.
Yeah, but that one was like relatively easy compared to that other one.
Still, I like them.
So
Yeah, it was
those are
crazy.
good, like practice new things. So, yeah.
And I'm all like, I like the simple. um, but that's okay. So there's all my mojo.
And mine. And so
Great.
now whips. Do you have any whips?
Yes. So I finished that, and then I was like, what do I knit on now? Well, I had been finishing, or not finishing. I'm still working on my newt, which is a bunch of spinning, and then Chloe's sweater. So I just finished the hood part.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Um, and I really like how the trim, like you knit the hood flat, and then you like start decreasing in the center, and then you Kitchener the top. I liked how it's like a nice hood. And then you pick up along the edge and knit a few garter rows, and then so I'm stocking it so it rolls, because that's what the edges are like on this sweater. But anyways, I like how the dark ended up being on the edge. So I did that, and I had just blocked this over the arm of our chair, because I'm like, how do you block a hood? Anyways, but yeah, I liked how that turned out. And I really love how this yarn spun up, or the fiber spun up and knit up, and like the feel of it. It was on size 3s. So like this sweater was a lot of stitches, but it's from Hobbledehoy Fibers, and it's a superwash merino bamboo nylon. So it's like intended for socks, I think, but I really like the drape of it for a sweater. And this girl better love this sweater to pieces for a long time. Anyways, okay, so yesterday I steeked it.
Oh, I know. I saw your Instagram stories.
I did it on Instagram, or a little bit on Instagram. But yeah, so basically you have your steek stitches. Like I had, it was a purl and then knit 5 and then another purl. So you like sew up 2 lines and then you cut through it, which I did. So I need to go buy a sweater. I guess I can show you guys. I don't know if you can see the sewn edge right there, or sewn line, but yeah. So I need to get a zipper and ribbon to attach to the back, and then do that. And I actually sewed the pockets down, which was kind of a pain, and it took longer than I thought it would. But I like pockets in knitwear. Like I really like pockets. I don't know why. And I hope she's gonna love it. And then I have to attach the hood. But this thing is almost done. Like, how crazy is that?
That's awesome.
Super crazy, and I love it, and it's comfy. And I think I want to make one for myself. Only I won't be alternating and doing stripes. I'll just do it in a plain color, because that's a pain in the butt. And I'm not a fan of having to switch things. And then my edges, like where you have to switch, especially for the hood, because it was knit flat, where I had to switch every row. I can never get the tension right on the very edge. Luckily, they had you pick up a knit, so you can't really tell that bad. It's that bad, but that annoys me. Or maybe I'm with myself because I can't do it that well.
Yeah.
But whatever. But yeah, so that's almost done. So I'm excited about that. I'm pretty sure I have more than 75% of my newt done. So I think I'm going to try and turn that in now before I forget.
Well, I have some whips. I have whips. So I've been like carrying around and slowly working on these fingerless mitts.
Fun.
Like very slowly, like because there'll be a detention project. Like I finished the first one, and then I'm on the second one, and I'm just going up, then I'll do the thumb part. So I'm crocheting it. And
Okay.
so, and then I'll probably give them to Bella or whatever. So that I'm carrying around with me on my purse usually. But lately, I have also been joining a blanket, a Slither Hug. So it's a bigger blanket than the baby ones because um, comfort needs more needs more, in my opinion. So I am finally. Oh, I just ripped out. Just a minute. Finally, I joined the last square, and I'm just got to go around
Exciting.
the rest of the way. So I have a blanket.
It's awesome.
And then I'll probably go around and do a single crochet around the top just to make it look finished.
Oh, should I do that to this one then?
If you want. I mean, that's just me personally wanting to make it look like that. So normally I try to join with green yarn, but I didn't have any green yarn. But like a couple of years ago, I bought like this like mill end Karen Simply Soft, and it was like black. And I found it in my stash. And I have like 3 skeins of it. So that's what I joined with, black.
It works.
You know, because black goes with everything.
Mm-hmm.
I normally join with green because we're Slytherin and I like green.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any. So, and I didn't feel like buying any. So I just did that. So those
That
are my actual works in progress. Yeah.
I actually have one more. So
Sorry, I
I cast on a pair of socks last night.
Oh, wow.
And then the kids had Rush and I, which is their youth group, and then I volunteer and I go into the childcare part of it for like the leaders. Anyways, so I was knitting on these all last night, which is why there's a lot of progress. But yeah, so I wanted to make some socks, some no-show socks, so that I can wear with my Spenco shoes that have like open space on the top of the foot. So I'm going to knit these to about 4 or 5 inches. And then I'm not following a pattern. I tried to look some up, but I didn't like anything that I really saw. So then I'm going to like stop knitting on one of the needles and then knit up, do a heel, and then come back and pick up around and do like a little cuff. So basically they're like footies, right? So I figured they could go. So I'm testing it out. But this yarn is fabulous, and I forgot how much I love Hermione Jean Creations.
Which is now called Supernatural Yarns.
Okay, so this is like old, but it was back when she had the it was a Hogwarts dueling club, I believe. Yeah. This is Bellatrix, and like you signed up for the club, but you got 2 skeins of yarn, and it was like Bellatrix versus whatever. I don't know who.
Molly.
Yeah. Anyways, but I'm like really digging this color and just the way it's dyed and everything. Good stuff. So go buy her yarn, Hermione Jean Supernatural yarn. I knew that.
She runs hers through Facebook or through Ravelry. She has a Ravelry group, and then she'll have like clubs that you can buy. Like that. It's pretty cool.
Very cool stuff. Very pretty stuff. I mean, check out like I just love like how it's like just purple, but it's like beautiful and tonal and nice. Yeah. And you can totally see how horrible my nails are. Anyways, so that's it for me for wits.
Okay, sorry. I totally jumped the gun on that. So now we're on You Spin Me Right Round.
Okay.
Also known as this episode, I should have named it the Jessica Show.
So did I show that mohair? Oh crap.
No.
I think I showed it last time.
No.
No? Okay, so this was part of my newt. I had a big old 8-ounce bump of mohair. I think I did talk about this. No. You sure?
Yes, because I would have said this. I've seen a lot of people with mohair, and it's always really soft. But I find when I spin it, it makes my nose itch.
Oh, I find that, yeah, I never really liked it too much or thought it was a little too itchy or whatever, but this bump was super soft. Actually, this bump was from like my early years of spinning out of Yarn Shop by me, Bar Creek Llama and Fiber Studio. They have their shearing days, and she has people she knows and local people come and do stuff. And then, anyways, there's this lady, I believe her name is Chris. I forget what her last name is. Anyways, she has goats, Angora goats, and she always brings a couple like yearlings in and like people to pet them. Anyways, they're super cute. Anyways, but she had fiber there, and I remember buying this like, I don't know, 10 years ago. But yeah, so it's got a halo. I don't know if you can tell. There's like bits and pieces, and it's not the most even yarn, but I spun it thin. I spun 4 bobbins because this is a true 4-ply, which is crazy. It's super round. But it turned out nice. I think I might make something for Joe because it's green and brownish. There's like green and brown bits in there. I don't know what. I'll see if he wants something. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what. I forget how many yards. I don't know if I've counted this yet or not, but it's 8 ounces.
Well, a lot.
So it's a big old skein. But it's squishy and soft and wonderful. And I was, yeah, pleasantly surprised by the end result.
Yeah, that's
Because
cool.
it's not my favorite, hence why it still was in my stash, because my fiber stash is dwindling.
Mine kind of is. I think. Well, I lied. It's not.
I just sat on my pillow. I also.
Oh no, real quick. At Shenandoah Valley, I was across from a lady who has Angora goats, and I bought some. Hers was really soft, not what I've used before. So, maybe I will start liking it again. I just hope it doesn't make my nose itch. But go on.
Yeah. Okay. So then I started working on my cable ply yarn, which was fiber from Knitty and Color. I believe this is like a freebie braid that I got when she had like a sale going on a little while ago. So my plan was, because I've learned that you need to put over twist in the singles and then the first ply, which I don't think I did enough in that first ply, which I'm kind of irritated at myself with it. But anyway, so I laced the flyer. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but you go back and I only did it back and forth once on my hooks, and that gives your fiber or your single more time to twist on itself before it's pulled onto the bobbin. So it's easier to spin higher twist yarns.
And it
Anyway,
makes it more even.
yeah. So that's what I did with the singles, and I spun it super fine. Well, not super fine, but fine. I haven't counted this yardage either, but it turned out pretty okay. I think it's balanced.
Cool.
And let me get a few. I don't know if you can see the plies and then the plied plies. They're, I don't know. I don't know if I wish it was just a little more tight. Like, so I think, because if then I had to like, so I plied the first 2 ply regularly, like counterclockwise. And then I should have put more twist into that, because then when I went to do the second time, I had to go so like, I had to treadle so slow and put it on the bobbin fast. Otherwise, it like was weird and almost seemed to like unply it. So I don't know. It's really strange.
Actually, I took a class at SSK on this. So when you spun your single, you should have overspun it.
I did.
When you plied them, you should have overplied them. Like,
That's what I didn't do as well.
You could have like ran it through again.
I should have, but I realized that like halfway into.
Oh yeah.
Like,
So then when you applied it the final time,
you do it
it
normal.
like even that out.
Yeah. So I mean, it evened out, but it's a little looser than I thought. But I mean, it's pretty and it's a nice, like it's a rusty color. This isn't really in my color warehouse. I mean, I like orange, but this is like a reddish orange and browns and
That's like
gold. It's very fallish.
yeah.
Um, and it's pretty, and I liked, and the yarn's super soft. It was just merino, I believe. So I don't know if maybe I'll gift it to someone or something. I don't know, or make someone something out of it. But
Well,
yeah,
I'm interested to see how the cable ply knits up compared to the 4-ply because they're both 4-plies, and it would be
right,
cool to like see the difference in the knitting.
true. I've done a cable ply once before, like years ago, and I still haven't knit with it, but I really like the yarn.
So it's fun to like build and create different yarn structures just by
Definitely.
plying.
This is something, like I said, I only did once before, and the 4-ply I've never done before, and even with the 3-ply, because the new I'm doing, single, 2, 3, uh, 4 cable, and then I'm gonna do end ply as well. But it's very fun to do things that you don't always do. I tend to do 2-plies or end plies, like that's my go-to thing. But I really had fun with my single too,
Yeah,
and it just a little bit and think about what you're doing. Um, so yeah,
yeah.
no, it was fun. I think I want to try doing another cable ply and really over plying that first ply or first time plying so that I can get what I was hoping for. Or I don't know what I was hoping for, but whatever. It turned out nice. I haven't counted yardage because, I'm like that.
You should really start.
I do. I just haven't done it yet.
But I mean, like, because I'm always like, oh, how much yardage did you get? You're like, oh, I didn't.
I think I was aiming for like 200, and I think I probably got somewhere around there. Maybe 150. I don't know, but yeah, it's like it's almost like ropey. I don't know if you can see it all that well,
But it's soft.
but it's super soft. Yeah, it's nice, but it looks like a rope or like a maybe not a factory yarn, but like I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
not exactly like normal hand spun. Cool stuff. Anyways, so I'm liking spinning, obviously. Um, and I think that's it. Yeah. Well, my last thing I'm doing is like I said, an end ply, and I'm excited to do it. It is from Corgi Hill Farms. It's Kalamata colorway, but it's 50% baby camel and 50% tussa silk.
Oh my goodness.
It is like
Luxury in a bat.
the softest thing ever. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be nice. So I'll take my time with that. I want it to be very nice. But yeah, it's so soft. Baby camel. Never used that before either. Anyways, so that's it for my spinning content.
So, I've been spinning for my newt. I did not hit 50% this month because I suck and I'm busy. But I spun up 3 bobbins and plied them, and then I'm spinning up the third one now. So I have 2 spun, and I'm doing the third one to get the rest of my yarn for the sweater vest for Andy. So that is a CVM Romleydale fiber that I blended with llama or alpaca and made into bats, and then I'm spinning it, and then I'll be over dyeing it when it's done being spun. So this is all I have left to spin.
Hey.
And then I have to ply it. But I got 2 ply because I took it with me to Shenandoah Valley and I started plying, but I realized I didn't bring my bulky bobbin, so I had to ply it on a small bobbin. So I have 2. So I got about 430 yards with the first part.
Okay.
So, and then these bobbins are there's more on them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I should get the 900 that I need.
Awesome.
So, but I was talking to a lady this past weekend, and she has CVM sheep, and I was just talking like, oh, I just spun some of that, and it's like the softest stuff. Like llama's soft, but I blended it with llama. But before I blended it, I was feeling that fiber, and I really think I like the CVM Romleydale, and CVM are like endangered sheep, not endangered, but they're like low.
Was it California variegated mutant?
Yeah, but they're like low. Um, they're
Number?
yeah. So they're like, so if you get them and you can like breed them, um, that's good. And their wool is really soft.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I think they're also like they're like a meat sheep too. Um, but anyway, I really like their wool. Like different breeds, you find you like different breeds. Like I love Polworth. Um, and I think CBM Romweydale, that blend, I really like that too, that sheep. So, or I like this fiber. But yeah, so I don't know if you can tell. So this is like a 3-ply. And it's like a true 3-ply, like because I have 3 bobbins.
Yeah, it looks super awesome and squishy.
It is. It's super soft and squishy. And even like the part, it's not like super even because some of the alpaca was like bumpy, and also, you know, this is it's from an actual sheep. Like I bought the roving from a farm who raises them and then has it processed. But the
Mm-hmm.
llama, same thing. It was just processed. So it was like, it wasn't like that super fine roving that you get like when you buy
Commercial top.
the commercial kind. It was like just processed and
Yeah.
like,
There's something so awesome about that though, and it's all rustic and
yeah.
I
So
like it.
so this looks like a light brown right now, but Andy wants like a dark espresso color. So I will like when I'm done plying it all, I will dye it all a dark brown. And so the cool color, this would be like a tweed vest. I might ask him if, oh, that's part of my dyeing is part of my new, so never mind. But it looks really cool. So
It's going to dye nicely too and be very
But
complex.
and I think like the alpaca adds to the softness and
Mm-hmm.
luxury of this. I think it's going to be a great sweater vest when I ever knit it. Like this experience is way better than the first time I tried spinning for it, which was Swisdale or something. That is not a sweater kind of yarn. That's like a rug yarn. So yeah, but that's what I'm doing. So then I've been carding and carding and carding for the other part of my newt, and I'm doing the fin right now. So I have to run these through. I've been running them through like about 3 or 4 times. This is the fin. So it's just run through. I have a little bit left of the fin to do, and then I'm gonna start on the Shetland. So
Really chocolatey brown though.
yeah, it's like a really soft fiber. So I think it'll be nice. And it's like super fluffy. Like, look at that. And it's super soft. So I think this would make like a nice, I probably could get a couple sweater quantities out of that, maybe 2. So yeah, so I've been doing that and just processing that. But like I said, I have to run it through like 3 or 4 times. before it gets to where I want to be. And there is a bunch of really short fibers that I just pull off and I have to throw it away, you know. But that's just what happens when you process fleece, I think. So yeah, but that's what I've been doing. So I'm trying to get to 75%. I think if when I finish spinning this, which should be shortly, because like I said, I only have this much left to spin, and then ply it, I can dye it, and then I should be close to 50% with half of the fleeces processed, or 75%.
Okay.
So that's all I've been doing for spinning. Like, I've been really busy.
Yeah, you have.
So, so I haven't really had time to sit and work on the drum cutter because it's not really portable.
No.
I think next time I do a newt, I need to have a part that's portable and a part that is not. Like, processing fiber is not really portable.
No.
So,
yeah, the time that you have to be home and you have to not, yeah, it definitely is not portable.
but anyway,
Okay.
it makes for good binge watching.
True.
So we're gonna skip right over weaving and sewing because of course I've been sewing, but I kind of stalled out on the weaving. Like, I measured my warp and I just haven't like warped the loom. I don't know why I'm just putting it off. I haven't really been home to do it. So basically that's what it is. And then of course I'm sewing. So for our cardio challenge, we've sent out prizes.
Yeah.
Sent mine out and she got it. So Jaji Girl got some fiber. Thanks for playing along. I'm sure we'll do another challenge in a little bit, but just right now, I kept forgetting to post to check in, and people were forgetting to check in, and I was just like, okay, it's time to stop. So we all signed prizes and they went out.
So funnily enough, though, like I've started doing 30 days of yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. And I've been doing it for like, I think today was day 13 days in a row. And like, it's not like super hard or anything. Like, there's some days when it's only like 18 minutes long. But it's something, and I'm taking it as a win because I'm actually doing it. So yay me.
That's cool. Do you feel taller? Every time I do yoga, I feel taller.
I think it helps with your posture and stuff. So yeah, it's good. And then some days you think like it's not even a good workout, but like I'm all sore all over the next day, so it's good. But I'm liking it.
That's cool. I'm proud of you. Yep. So, binging. Have you been binging on anything?
Yeah. So I was reading The Fifth Wave, I think, when we last podcasted. I finished that, and then I went on to The Infinite Sea, which I finished that, and then I started The Last Star, and I couldn't get too far into it. Like, it was so, I don't know, annoying. I just couldn't finish it. Like,
angsty or
yeah, and like, yeah, kind of like teenagery and like, oh, the end of the world and boohoo, aliens, blah blah blah. I don't know. I just I just couldn't. I was like, I couldn't. So then
I'm
so Joe
of this podcast to
what?
Boohoo, aliens, blah blah blah. That's what I'm changing to. What I named it. Oh, Busy Fiber is what I named it before we started, but I'm totally changing it.
Okay. So I stopped watching that, and then Joe and I had talked, and like we haven't been using Sling TV all that much, and we were so far behind on The Walking Dead. Like, we fell behind last season, so we have not finished that season from last year, and they just started up a new season. And they didn't have it on Netflix, so we're like, we should just cancel because we can't even catch up and we can't watch the current season and blah blah blah. So I went on and canceled it. It ends in actually 2 days, on the 20th. So I was like, crap, we're not gonna have Sling TV anymore. I should go watch all the shows that I want to watch before it goes away. So I went on and the Shadow Hunters, which is also very teenage angsty. Um, I watched the latest season of that, I think, which was 3. And then I went and watched the 9 Lives of Chloe King.
Oh, that's
Have you seen that? Like, I remember that from like a long time ago.
is that on
It's
CW?
Freeform CW, yeah. Um, it's one season.
I watched it a long time ago when it was on Netflix.
Okay. It was, just fun.
I'm sad that they
She's
didn't
this
continue it. That was
Sphinxy cat thing.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was fun to watch. And then I started watching Bunheads, which is also, I think, on the Freeform channel. And I believe the creator of Gilmore Girls did it.
Yeah, I think so.
Um, so like I forget where I'd heard it mentioned, but I'm like, oh, I'll give it a try. So like the first few episodes, I was like, but I got into it. It's got like the fun, quirky, dialogue and things, funny things happening and stuff. It was interesting, and like by the end, I really liked it. But there was only one season of it as well. I don't know if that's all there is ever. 'Cause it was a few years old, I think. But yeah, it was good enough. And then I started watching Stitchers. Have you seen that show? Um, so they like it's kind of like a crime show. Like this one girl can stitch into like a dead person's mind for like the first 24 hours after this person dies, so she can go in and like view memories of like what happened, and they solve crimes.
Oh, so it's kind of like iZombie without eating the brains.
Yes. It's a little strange. I'm like I think there's 3 seasons, and I'm in the middle of 2, and then I kind of like went blah on it. Um, and then I wanted an audiobook. So I picked up my iPod and I decided I was going to listen to Written in Red from the other series because it's been a while. So I'm listening to that right now. But I remembered that to put new books on my computer, which I haven't done yet. But I'm really enjoying the other series because it's been a while since
I liked it the first time I listened to it, and then the second time I picked up more, and I liked it better.
It's really good. I like how it's not all like I don't know lovey dovey and like
Yeah, it's like a
great,
partnership, like a true partnership, if that makes sense.
but like enemies yet.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a really good.
I
It's a
think
really
it's
good.
like a really Anne Bishop writes this series, and the way she like captures like how people are, like humanity, like how they hate anything different, and just how like not everyone is hateful, and some people are actually trying to change things. It
Work together.
like I mean, yeah, it's in like a totally different world, but it still is pretty relevant to what goes on in the world.
Definitely. No, I really enjoy it and it's good. Yeah, like you said, listening to it the second time is nice because then you can I don't know, sometimes like when you first listen to something like you're obviously catching everything all at once. It's all new. But like going back and re-listening to it, it's enjoyable and you can like I don't know, dig into it a little more.
Yeah, so that's cool.
So that's what I've been listening to.
So we actually use Sling. We actually have stopped watching The Walking Dead. So like last season was just such a letdown, and um when it started this season, we were just like meh, and we didn't watch it because we kind of like stopped. Um, like the reason we were watching the first part, it was just different, and then it changed over the past couple of years. The show's changed, so like we've just decided to stop watching it because we couldn't really get into it,
Okay.
and we admitted to ourselves we pretty much liked watching the Talking Dead better than watching the actual show. So yeah, so we didn't actually watch the season premiere this year.
Ooh.
Like I kind of wanted to, but I didn't. I also didn't want to. We just went to bed. Like, we're old, so we go to bed. But we did watch the new Doctor Who episode. It was amazing, and I'm super excited for that season. Though I did miss the second show on Sunday because I was driving home, but it should be on demand in a couple of days, so then I can watch it and then watch the third episode. And it's really good. Like, the new Doctor is amazing. It's just it yeah. So we are still keeping Sling, but um yeah, I can understand if you don't use it. Like, Andy uses it for ESPN and stuff too. So
See, we don't. I mean, I don't like during Christmas. I went on and watched a bunch of different movies and stuff, but like the kids have watched a lot of the different shows. I don't know. We just don't go on it that much, and I'm like, why are we paying 20 whatever a month? So we actually might try doing Hulu or
yeah.
Hulu, because that's one we don't have right now to see what's all on there and whatnot. But I don't know. For now, we'll just get rid of it.
So, and I have a friend who she uses YouTube TV instead of Sling, and she really likes it. So there's that too. But I actually have been reading. I finished the Blood Destiny series. I kind of like got sick of it, but I finished it anyways. And then I started reading. I finished a book called First Drop of Crimson. So there's a series called oh, I forget. It's by oh, what's her name? Let me look it up. And it's about this half vampire, half human cat, and she's like a bounty hunter, and it's like a total romance like story, like urban fantasy romance. I'm trying to think. I think it's Janine Frost writes it. My Goodreads is opening, so I'll tell you in a minute. Like, I have it linked, but it doesn't tell me who the author is, and I didn't. Anyways, the author wrote a series, and then there's like outlying characters that she wrote like one story of about them, like the outlying characters in the show in the series.
But you're
It's Janine Frost. So then the series is Night Huntress. So she's like a bounty hunter thing. And then so she wrote in the first one, it was called First Drops of Crimson. So it's like they're friends. Like, there's a couple in the main book, Cat and Bones, and they're like married and blah blah blah. And then there's a friend, and so this book was about their friend and her friend. So then I'm reading the next one is Eternal Kiss of Darkness, which I've read these before, but I don't remember anything about them. Like, I'm reading them now, and I was like, I don't remember that. I don't remember, but it was like at least 4 or 5 years ago that I've read these books. Because I was looking at the Night Huntress series, and there's 2 other books that I haven't read because like I finished when they had them, so it was like back before she wrote them. But yeah, it's Janine Frost is the author. So yeah, and then so I'm reading the Eternal Darkness one, which is really cool. The vampire's like, he was like an Egyptian pharaoh type of thing, like way back then, and it's like he's now, and he's like wanting to, it's just it's they're like romance and hot and steamy, and they're fun to read. So I was reading that, but like I was like I had a show last weekend and I have a show on Saturday, so I've been kind of like tired and not doing much but spinning and just like binging on TV. So because sometimes you just need to take a break, and like there's sometimes where I'm like, I should be working or sewing or something, but I'm just tired and I can't do it. So I took this week off a little bit. Madison's home on fall break, so I was watching TV, and I started watching this show called Queen of the South because Netflix kept recommending it. Even though Netflix recommends is pretty crappy because they don't really know me and they just suck and they just recommend stuff. But I was like, fine, I'll watch it. So I started the first one and I watched it and I like was hooked. Like I'm in the second season. I'm almost done with it. Like there's only 2 seasons. It's really good. It's about this girl and her boyfriend's killed by this drug cartel. And normally I don't like watching shows that have subtitles because I can't read and knit or spin at the same time. Like I can kind of, but not really. But
Right.
this they go from Spanish to English like in the same sentence, so then they'll put like the subtitle up every so often.
Okay.
Like it's pretty good. It's crazy. Like I didn't think I would like it, but it's just like, are you kidding me? Like
I don't know if I've even seen it on Netflix. I haven't.
It's called Queen of the South, and it's like I was watching it and Madison was it's home, so she was like, I was like, this is why you don't get into dealing drugs. Like I was just like, and she's like, okay.
Life
But,
lessons.
but yeah, no, it's really good. Like I don't know why, I just am addicted to it. So I've been watching that, and then I went on Prime and started trying to finish Bones because you had talked about how you finished it. So I've been watching through that. But I went on yesterday and I was going to watch it and I just pressed play and it was like 3 episodes after where I was and I was like, Hodgins is hurt? Like what the heck happened? So then I had to like pause because Angela was all mad. She was like, yeah, it's pretty much like this all the time ever since he got hurt. And I'm not going to like ruin the season and tell you what happened. So I paused it and like went back and I'm like, I'm like 3 episodes behind. Why did it start me? So I think Madison or someone watched. Someone had to because
Late SmackDown. that that season makes me sad.
Yeah. So that's what I've been watching. Queen of the South and Bones, like super craziness, and reading like super hot, steamy romance novels. Like this is I'm super old, and that's what happens when you're that old.
That's funny.
So yeah, but that's it. I'm weird, but I did. um, so speaking of books, like a while ago, the Knit Girls, Leslie was talking about she wanted some recommendations for audiobooks because she couldn't find any that she was into and blah 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 and all this stuff. So I went into that thread and I suggested some that she would read, that she could read, but I like followed that thread so that I could see what other people were suggesting, and so I went through some of them to see if I would like any of them. So I finally got the first book of one of the series that someone was saying they really liked. So I'm gonna have to listen to it and see if I like it.
That's cool. Hey, did you ever finish the All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness, the Discovery of Witches? Did you know that there's a show and it's on BBC, not in America? Like it's like actually a show. Like for some reason I stumbled upon it and like saw this preview and like it's coming to America, I think in the new year, February-ish, January, February-ish.
Yeah, I saw a commercial for it actually.
And I was like, when did this happen?
I sent it to someone.
Anyways, but I thought that was cool. But that was one you didn't finish.
No, I read the first 2 and then I just like those books were good, but holy crap were they long. And there was a lot of like
there's lots of info in them, yeah.
Boring in them too. And I think the second one, it just like kept going and going and going, and I just kind of lost interest after. Yeah. But I mean, that was also when I don't finish things thing. And I'm in the things. Maybe.
Also,
but that's cool. Like I like when like I almost hate and like when they make books into movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
You know, like
I want to watch it, but I hope they do it justice, but I know they won't. I don't know.
But like that book had so much info and so much in it, like it would be really hard for them to mess it up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well,
like I read the first half of Magicians and I hated that book. But I started watching that show and I really like the show. It's really dark, but I like it. And then like the Vampire Diaries, I read those books and I love them, and I didn't like watching that show at first. And then I read the third book that they wrote like how many years later, and I hated it. So I went through and watched the whole show and I loved the show. So it's just like stuff like that. And like I would like to watch the Shadowhunters.
Oh no, they like totally screw it up big time.
Well, they screwed up the movie, but I didn't get to watch the first season, and they don't really have it on demand. So
it's on Sling. All 3 seasons.
Oh, I might have to go watch it
on Freeform. Yeah, there's like 40 some odd episodes. I just watched I think they have like half of the 3rd season on there. Like they probably had a mid-season finale thing because there's like half a season. But yeah, there's 3 seasons on there. It's like cheesy TV, teeny bopper stuff.
But that's what I like too.
It's a little too risque, like because Leah's read those books, like all of them. She powered through them like last year and part of this year. But I'm like, I don't think I'd want her watching that show. I don't know.
Well, she's 13, right? Like,
yeah, I feel like I'm so overprotective with what they watch. And like everyone around them at school has watched like tons and tons of stuff. And I'm all like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping your kid young.
Yeah. I mean, not that I want them to be I can't even think of the word, like stupid about things, but innocent, yes, is a good thing. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping them innocent, because sometimes I think kids grow up too fast. And when they're at that age, if you can keep them from coming too hard, too fast. Like, I mean, I'm sure you're like me and you still talk to them about stuff and like what happens and how they should be treated. Like, you know, like I mean, I know like with all craziness that goes on and you see stuff in the news, like I'm always talking to Bella. I'm like, you know, if you say no, it means no, and it doesn't matter any of that. Like,
right.
Like if you say no, just because a boy likes you does not mean he has a right to harass you to go on a date with him. Like you know, I'm always like telling her that. And she's like, I know, Mom, shut up. Like, you know, like, but I mean, like just because they like you does not mean you have to like them back.
Correct.
But you know, so I'm like, I always talk to them, like, but I've always been like that. So, anyways, but I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I'm like, there's certain stuff like you can read it and not like picture it at that age, but then if you actually see it,
right,
there's a difference. Like
there is. Yeah, I'm not ready to. I don't know. Anyways,
I mean, they're only in 8th grade, so
yeah,
they can be kids for a little bit longer.
Crazy.
Anyways, we're definitely on random randomness. So randomly, where am I? I have to find myself on. Oh, okay. So I had last weekend. I had the Little York Fiber Festival, and it was really good and it was fun. And I was next to this lady who makes lotion bars and stuff. And I got this lotion bar, vanilla bean. Oops, it's vanilla bean. And it smells just like. Do you remember the vanilla smell from? I think it was Victoria's Secret, like 20 years ago, maybe more. Like when I was in high school. Maybe it was Bath and Body Works, but the vanilla bean smell. And I used to use that lotion all the time. This is what that smells like, and that's why I bought it. Bella was like, "You have enough lotion bars," and I'm like, "Seriously, this is the smell of my youth."
I need to make lotion bars. Speaking of random, I have like a bunch of tubes that are all empty. Do you see this? I need to make some. I've been like, oops, using a needle to like dig them out and like rub, especially now with the cold, like my skin dries out more, and I put it on my feet at night too.
Yeah, and that's what she said she made these for, is for at night. So I've been using it at night on my feet, and it's really nice. And then
They
it was
are.
from a lady. It was a girl and her mom. They both did it. Called Seventh Floor Yarn,
Ooh, that's
and
fun.
I got this colorway, Beautiful Chaos. Look at how pretty it is. So like it's like this really bright blue and purple and gray.
That's fun.
This is the DK weight merino nylon. It's super soft and pretty, and I just had to get it because it was beautiful. Um, so yeah, but it was a lot of fun. It was so cold though. I'm not even kidding. Like I was wearing 2 pairs of socks. It was that cold because it was in like an old theater that they don't heat because they use it only in the summer.
Okay.
So it was cold, and of course it was like the first cold weekend. It was just crazy,
Crazy.
crazy. But I mean, that's pretty much all. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. So, we go to a small group with our church, and one of the ladies there, they went to like there was like an antique sale that they went and they bought like cases of stuff, and she's like, "Oh, these were in the boxes, and I thought you might like them," so she gave me this. How cool is that? And it's I think it's got actual it's like actual flax on there,
That's
and then
cool.
this,
Aw, that's
uh,
awesome.
and it actually moves.
That's so cool.
I know. So she was like, "Yeah, we thought you would like them." And she's like, "You could use them in your display." I'm like, "I think I'm just going to put them on my shelf because they're awesome."
It's mine.
So yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
nice. So we got those.
Very
Um,
cool.
Bella's birthday's tomorrow. She's 14.
Crazy.
And then after we're done podcasting, we're going up to Madison's taking a driver's license test.
Even more crazy.
I know. So yeah, but that's all that's randomly going on for me.
We randomly had like 2 weeks of straight rain, I swear. Our grass really needs to be cut and like bagged because we have a ton of leaves and I don't feel like raking, but it keeps like raining and getting wet. And then, yeah, the cold front came, which is nice with all the hand knits and sweaters and stuff that you get to wear. But yeah, it's cold.
And it makes me want to finish all the sweaters that I have like not finished.
I've been wearing a bunch. Actually, I've noticed a bunch of mine are kind of big, so I need to like rewash them and see. Not that I want to shrink them, but like see if I can tighten them up a bit or something. I don't know.
Block
Um,
a little bit in.
Sort of blocking helps with bigger. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can do something. Um, but yeah, so yeah, it's making me want to knit and wear all the things wool, which is fun.
Me too.
But yeah,
Been
that's.
wearing my socks because my toes have been getting really cold. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it actually turned on today. Like we have it set at like 58. Um, radiators were warm.
Cool. Yeah, we're keeping ours low. We finally put it on because the kids are like, it's so cold. Um, but yeah, I'm like, wear sweaters, wear socks.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm always like that. And we have the coolest slippers, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
I think we're coming to the end. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
All right.
Fun time crafting.
Okay,
Talk to you later.
bye.